do not represent my school or my community, but I represent my generation and future generations to come. The problem that we are facing now and forever is our government's ignorance to spending.
Our nation's debt is $18 trillion. Let that sink in for a minute. 18 trillion seconds is equal to 570,776 years. That means our debt per taxpayer, how much every American would have to pay in order to eliminate the debt, is $154,161. How are we ever supposed to pay this off?
You're not. The interest rate lenders give us is so low. It's only 2.43%. That means we have nothing to worry about. Debt is healthy for a nation's economy because when it's in the form of U.S. Treasury bonds, it offers a safe place for investors to put their money. And that plays a crucial role in the financial system here.
I'm afraid you're wrong. The U.S. government seems to think that low interest rates give them all the time in the world to pay back the debt, but this isn't good news.
America now enjoys very privileged status of having US dollar as world reserve currency. Now the interest rates are at their historic lows, meaning every business on the face of earth has to exchange their local currencies into US dollars in each transaction. And the trend that is going on in the geopolitical area right now is that this type of affair, this conditional affair, is not good for most of the countries anymore in the world. So the interest rates will have to rise.
This needs to be stopped.
We cannot expect our government's debt to disappear overnight, but I cannot be locked behind these bars forever.
Where did we even get this debt from?
Baby boom generation moves out of their productive years and into their retirement years. That's putting tremendous stress on the entitlement programs, which are built around how old you are. And so Medicare specifically is probably the primary driver of the deficit right now.
Countries such as China and Japan are happy to continue lending to us, so why don't we just all calm down?
Foreign countries such as China now have greater control over our actions because of their large holdings of America's debt. We continue to turn blind eyes to China's human rights violations and continue to support their economy because of the large role they have played in the last several years as being the largest holder of America's debt.
Only to be surpassed by Japan. Do we really want to be dependent upon foreign powers, especially those of communist ones?
The more debt they hold of ours, the more control they can eventually exercise over the United States. Because what it comes down to is the more somebody owes you, the more you have to comply with what they want. For example, a few years ago, China wanted to put in a bid to run our ports, our naval ports coming in and out for shipping and so forth. And we told them no. But if they own enough of us, we can't tell them no anymore.
In order to find out the national debt's effect on the business sector, we decided to talk to co-owner of Campbell Resources, Bill Campbell.
I think that if the national debt continues to grow, what that does is it allows companies to continue to borrow money to leverage their businesses, and that can fuel growth. So I think that in a growing national debt where people are not pessimistic and not seeing our debt grow for the wrong reasons, I think it can be a non-impact for businesses. However, if we are pessimistic or if we try to balance the debt or reduce the debt in the wrong ways, then I think the economy can turn south, and then that can be very impactful for businesses.
What impact, if any, does the national debt have on the America's private sector?
Private sector is going to have to start paying a lot more money with regard to taxes, such as retail taxes and so forth. Or we're not going to have a government for them to be in business at.
So what are the possible solutions to reduce the national debt?
Most liberals propose increasing taxes, which would allow for more incoming money from mostly the middle-class Americans. However, this could potentially lower economic activity, which would be the opposite of what we want. If done soon enough, tax increases could substantially decrease future debt. Conservatives tend to support budget cuts, primarily in the entitlement programs. It is believed that the government is giving more than it yields. However, by doing this, they risk a potential decrease of $2,400 from new retirees' Social Security payments if the budget cuts are not done right.
But the simple fact is that if we continue to run up debt at a rate that is essentially unsustainable, at some point we're going to have an economic crisis due to excessive debt, and that will lead to a lower standard of living for our people and especially for our children.
So, presidential candidates of 2016, do you now think the national debt is America's top priority? To what extent should the national debt be lowered? And what is your plan to lower the national debt?